Out of ammo. Can the ladies come out to play?
For you, Rocket, anything. Be good.
Ebony, Ivory, care to dance?
We need to talk about this. Marvel's Capcom Infinite is the newest installment in the crossover fighting series published by Capcom. This game has been getting a lot of hate since well before it released. From the art style to the roster to the fact that they launched the first round of DLC a week after the game was released. But does it really deserve all this hate though? Let's talk about it. The game's art style and graphics have been talked about almost as much as the roster, and there's a reason for that. They tried for a more realistic look with a lot of detail and clothes down to showing individual stitching on some of the costumes, and that's the problem. Characters look weird talking to each other when X is walking around with his undetailed face and huge anime eyes, and most of the Marvel side just look like people. I don't know why for the life of me they didn't go for a more stylized art style. Cell shading could have done wonders for this game. This is what we have though, but it's not completely terrible. Honestly, the game only looks bad at all during cutscenes during the story. I don't know how, but during pre-rendered cutscenes, everyone looks much worse than they do with the in-engine graphics. When you're playing the game and fighting, it looks great. Lots of flashy colors and combos look truly impressive. There is one thing I can't look past though. What happened to Cap? He's so huge, like uncomfortably huge. He looks like a Hulk wearing a blue onesie, and his eyes, they're a mile apart. Please, Capcom, if you hear this, please fix Cap. Marvel's Capcom Infinite suffers in the art department as well. Voice acting is very lackluster, and everyone sounds bored. During the story mode, and even during fights, some characters just don't sound like they're exerting any force when calling out supers or specials. The stages themselves, however, I personally loved. They all have great depth to them, with layers of things happening in the background on some, and they all just ooze personality. In the end, it looks pretty decent. Not terrible, outside of Cap, but not great either. That's the worst part. It just can't hold a candle to its competitors like Mortal Kombat 10, Injustice 2, Dragon Ball FighterZ, and even Tekken 7. The roster. Everyone has said how terrible the roster is. In the end though, coming from an X-Men fan, I love the roster. I get that people are so angry that the X-Men and Fantastic Four aren't a Marvel's Capcom game, that they might just explode, but are you really surprised? They were a staple in every other game, but at the same time, you know Marvel doesn't own the movie rights for X-Men or the Fantastic Four, so why would they put them in a major game that is basically works as a big ad for Marvel characters in Capcom games? When I saw the roster, I wasn't surprised at all. Not only were they not there, but that all but 2 Marvel fighters are from the movies. The only 2 that aren't are Nova, which you could argue kind of was in Guardians of the Galaxy, and Captain Marvel. As for the Capcom side, not much has changed since Marvel's Capcom 3. Wesker and Virgil are gone, Jeddah and X are in, but most real favorites are in this game, down to Ryu, Dante, Morgan, and Zero, as well as Frank West. Also, Capcom has said that 6 new fighters will be out by the end of 2017, and 3 have already been released, adding Black Panther, Sigma, and Monster Hunter to the roster, and they are a blast to play. All the returning characters play much differently than they did in Marvel's Capcom 3, so it makes everyone feel new and exciting to play around with. People will always be mad that the X-Men and Fantastic Four aren't in the game, but I honestly love the characters they included. One last thing though, yes, they already have DLC. I don't care. I heard someone argue for day 1 DLC once, and it really opened my eyes. When would you be more willing to pay to buy DLC and play new characters? Within the first 3 months of a game coming out, when it's still fresh in your mind? Or a year from now, when you're more likely not even playing it anymore, so you wouldn't even know that the DLC had come out? I will agree that the fact that Sigma, half of the final boss, wasn't playable from the start is a little garbage, but in the end, I don't really see any issue with it. You can buy it as a bundle for $30 to get all 6 characters, which doesn't make them all that expensive. Oh, this one's rough. The story is there. I mean, it is a step up from the 2-panel arcade ending in Marvel's Capcom 3, but it doesn't hold a candle to NetherRealm Studios story modes. They try to go for the same kind of story mode, watching long cutscenes to set up a fight, then you fight through it and watch more story, which is great if the story can grab you. Sadly, Marvel's Capcom Infinite just doesn't have the writing for this kind of story. It's just so campy on par with some B-movies in the writing and voice acting. People act oddly and say things you just wouldn't expect. In the end though, it's serviceable and it gives you a chance to play most of the characters and get adapted to the fighting system before you go into the training mode and get ready for online matches. This This is the saving grace for this game. This game feels and plays so good it hurts me. I'll be straight with you, I'm not the best at any fighting game. I'm not going to EVO anytime soon, but even I found a character that I love to play with and that I can link together some rather impressive and fun combos. It is my favorite fighting game to come out in a while. I am honestly at a loss for words. I don't know what to say, it's just how natural it feels playing Marvel's Capcom Infinite makes me not want to put it down, to the point that I've been playing through arcade mode every character twice to unlock every color for every character. On top of that, the online is amazing. Matches are matched up super fast and there is minimal lag in any fight. As long as you're at about 3 bars or more, you'll have a great fight online. I don't know what else to say, I'm rambling, but I can't help it. No fighting game has ever felt this good to me. In the end, I know it sounds like I've been dogging this game left and right. I have to admit, I kind of am, but seriously, the gameplay does save it. In the end, it's a fighting game. As long as the fighting feels tight, responsive, and fun, I can look past some muddy textures and a little bad voice acting. Till recently, my favorite fighting game was actually Soul Calibur 4, mostly because it had online and I never got around to getting Soul Calibur 2 HD. But I think if Marvel's Capcom Infinite keeps moving down this path, I'm going to have a new favorite. Just go at least play it. Go to a Redbox, rent it if you can for your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, and decide for yourself. If you really enjoy fighting games, you owe it to yourself to at least play it and see how you feel about it for yourself.